So one of the wonderful methods I was blessed with, I guess, when I get triggered by someone, whether it's a inflammatory email or somebody has said something to me to my face that triggers me, is a method called BIFF, B-I-F-F. And this comes from a wonderful gentleman by the name of Bill Eddy out in Southern California. He runs the High Conflict Institute. And BIFF is an acronym for brief, informative, friendly, and firm. So I'll just use a quick example. When I receive an email that just triggers me to no end and I just want to jump through my computer screen and strangle this person, I have to take a breath, and I immediately think about BIFF. So I think, okay, I need to respond to this person. How am I going to do it? First trick, be brief. I don't need to say a lot.
Now, do you have a recommendation? Because a lot of people, I mean, we get so angry, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we just want to,
Right.
and then click send.
Right.
Do you have a recommendation for keeping ourselves from doing that? What do you do when you're really, and you know the BIFF method, it's ingrained in both of us, but what would you recommend that people do so that they don't make that error?
Well, one of the things I like to do is just get up from my desk, get away from my computer, maybe go outside, get a breath of fresh air, get some sunshine in my eyes, something like that to help my system calm down.
All right.
So that I can return to my computer, return to that email, look at it with a fresh set of eyes, maybe a refreshed mindset.
So like move.
Move is good.
You're back to your BIFF, brief, informative, friendly, and firm, and you open up the Outlook, the Outlook new mail, right? You've maybe taken the lap around the neighborhood,
right,
and you've burned off some energy. So tell us about the brief nature.
Sure. Well, one of the first things I like to do in coming up with this brief thing that I'm going to say is I go back and I reread the email. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for questions. Has this person asked me a question that requires an answer? If they have said a whole bunch of nasty stuff and they've asked one question that requires me to answer it, all I'm going to write is my answer to that one question. I'm not going to address anything else that they said in that email. So my answer is going to be brief, and it's going to be targeted and focused on the question that needs to be answered.
And that's even if you feel like defending yourself, right?
Yeah, I won't do it.
Because what does defending yourself do?
It just engages them at their level. There's no need to defend yourself. If you're defending yourself, you're almost communicating to them, I buy into what you're saying.
Right.
I see value in what you're saying, and gosh, I've got to clear the air. You don't have to clear the air with anybody.
It keeps things going when you engage in that way.
Yes, a cycle.
Yeah.
A cycle of accusation, defend, accusation, defend, accusation, defend.
Right.
And you don't need to do
it. You're going in.
What do I have to do with my reply?
What do I have to do with my reply that is necessary to maintain my professionalism, to make sure that whatever I'm working on with this person is moving forward? Just make it really pared down. And so the informative part.
Yes, the informative part. So that is providing information to the person who sent the message to me that is helpful and related to that email. So if they ask me a question like, what are you going to do about my case? Then that's the information I'm going to provide because it's helpful and it's responsive to that email. I'm not going to include informative information about, let me tell you who you're talking to. I went to this college and I graduated.
Do you know who I am?
Exactly. I'm just not going to get into it.
Right.
So, brief response, just the information that I need to communicate because it's what they asked for. Friendly.
Now, so that's the thing that in the many years that I've used it, and I've taught this, it's the friendly part that, you don't have to say, let's have lunch.
No.
So what does friendly look like when you are angry with the person or the communication?
To me, it looks like civil, dignified, professional, peaceful.
Okay, I like that. None of them make as good of an acronym. I mean, I think it would be BIFF
or something like that, right?
But
right.
yeah, that helps me. That helps me a lot.
Right.
So civil.
It's almost the opposite of what my old historical DNA that I have from eons ago is telling me to do, to go pick up my big stick and go beat somebody over the head. Yeah. It's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
It's like killing them with kindness, right? When you're dealing with a bully, not all bullies, but somebody who's being nasty to you, one of the things they don't expect is for you to be kind.
Right.
Or nice, or peaceful. Or
civil.
No, what they really want is they want you to engage.
They want you to get down into the
They want the fight.
The mud with them.
So be friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the final one, firm. I always think about boundaries. What do you think about with the firm?
Don't beat around the bush. Don't be ambiguous. Don't be vague. Be very specific. For example, a firm way to close an email is something like, I'm 100% confident that I provided the answer to the question you provided to me in my email. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. I'm not saying, I hope this information was helpful for you. If you have any more questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. Yes, no, that's not a firm response. That's a nice, pleasant, professional response. But a firm one is, I've answered your question. Right. Have a nice day.
And, I would think in regards to parents moving through a divorce and you're having to communicate on something, and in these situations where you've known these people a long time, they know all your hot buttons and things like that, and they know how to push the boundaries. I would think that firm would also encompass having a boundary. Somebody says, hey, maybe for the 50th time in as many days, I'm going to be 30 minutes late picking up the kids or something like that, and your agreement is that, after 15 minutes, I'm not gonna be waiting around for you anymore. That's a way to have a boundary. You just say, hey, I'm still gonna have this boundary. If you're more than 15 minutes late, I will be moving on with my day. Sincerely, all my best. And so the thing that I think people get really tripped up on is that we can have boundaries without being jerks. And boundaries inherently are never going to feel great, especially if you're a people pleaser, one of them. But this is a way where you can, embedded in this acronym is a way to do all those things and retain your dignity. And quite frankly, when you're through this process, be proud of the person that you were while you were in this process. Be proud of the way that you governed yourself. And the lessons that you were teaching the kids about how to maintain civility and dignity.